It's the E Square Podcast.
All right, it's the E Square Podcast. I'm Easy Mo, and today we have the lovely, wonderful DJ Susie in the house. What's going on?
What's up? Thank you for having me.
For sure. Thank you for pulling up. We've been going back and forth for a minute, so I'm glad I finally got you out here.
Definitely. This is kind of like my welcome to Vegas podcast.
Oh, word?
Yeah, and I haven't done an interview since before the pandemic, so it's pretty cool to,
dope.
talk some shit,
Dope.
drink a little tequila.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I just had another female DJ on before, so it's two in a row.
No doubt.
Yeah, you're taking over the game. Yeah,
For sure.
For real. So no, I'm like really
hot commodity.
Yeah,
female
for real.
DJs. Yeah.
No, for real, because like it's just you got to open those doors up. You got to like kick in that door and then take over, but you got to be good. You know what I mean? It's like can get overlooked a lot. Like people, I mean, if you haven't watched DJ Susie's YouTube channel, go check it out. She went on a little rant about the female DJs, but we can get into that later. I want to learn about you and like where you grew up and how you became a DJ in the first place. So New York, right?
Yes, I was born and raised in Queens, from New York. I'm the only girl of 7. I have 6 brothers.
Oh.
Yeah, so I was a tomboy growing up. I watched professional wrestling and loved sports. So I wanted to become a professional basketball player. That was my dream, to make it to the WNBA.
Really?
Yeah, that was my dream.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I didn't have your typical childhood. I grew up just my brothers beating me up all the time. So it was really could never be bullied.
That's a full house.
Yeah.
6 brothers.
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And are you the youngest?
I'm the middle child.
Oh, you're the
so
middle child? Oh, okay.
I have 3 older siblings and then 3 younger.
I'm a middle child too, so that means like, what is the middle child syndrome? Do you have that?
I don't think so. And it's funny because, I'm the only girl. You would think that I get pampered and they treat me like a princess. Oh, the contrary. They don't, yeah.
So what was it like growing up in Queens?
Oh, I went to a Catholic school in New York, and my brothers actually went through the public school system. So I'm so grateful that I, went to a private school. And I think it really just, your personality develops when you're a kid. So, I saw a lot of things growing up. But I think going to a Catholic school really, disciplined me at a young age. And then, growing up, with my brothers, they got in trouble. So looking at their mistakes, trying not to fuck up, trying to make your family proud. So I think that's, when I really, like desired that passion to play basketball or to be famous or to do something big, something out of the ordinary. But at the time it was basketball because I was really good.
Real word. Damn.
Yeah, and then
you're tall. You're taller than I
than you imagine. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm 5'8".
Damn. Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just short, so I'm like, I think I'm like, I tell people I'm 5'8", but I think I'm like 5'7".
Oh yeah, nah, you're pretty tall.
I'm a short king.
Yeah.
But that's dope.
Yeah.
So did you play basketball in high school and college?
I did. I played varsity basketball in high school. I actually moved to North Carolina to play basketball.
Oh, dope.
So from New York, moved to North Carolina. Did 4 years in North Carolina, and it was like culture shock moving to the South.
For sure.
So it was different, but I loved it because I felt like I was the girl from New York.
Yeah.
No one could fuck with me. I was tough. No one could bully me, and But no, I accomplished all of my high school dreams. I was the homecoming queen.
Dope.
Yeah, I did JROTC. I was undefeated in chess club. So, I did
You're one of those students. Okay.
Yeah. So I participated in a lot of the programs in high school.
That's dope.
Yeah.
So
but then I traded in my Nikes for a pair of heels.
Yeah. So like, how did you make that transition from basketball to music?
So it was actually when I won homecoming queen. I was like, okay, so let me start wearing my hair down. Let me start dressing up a little bit more feminine, and and I started modeling when I was 17, and I auditioned for America's Next Top Model. Did a video audition, and I got a call back for a second audition.
Wow.
Flew out to Miami, I was able to get the second call back, and then I was one call back away from being on the show. And during that time, Univision, the Spanish channel, had developed their own reality show similar to America's Next Top Model called Nuestra Belleza Latina. So I actually did that show, and sure enough, I was able to place in the top 12 out of the entire country, and that right there is what gave me my notoriety.
Dope.
Yeah.
Did were your Were your so you made that transition from like tomboy to girly girl?
Oh yeah.
Was your family like all for it, or were they like taken back? Did they support you, or?
Yo, you know what? My mother is my main support system. My brothers actually, when I was younger, they got locked up. So, we went 5 or 6 years without them being home. So, my mother was going through like a depressed stage in her life. So I felt like I had to make her proud and make her happy. And I had to, be the exact opposite of my brothers. So I think that's what kind of drove me when I was younger. So she always supported any idea or venture that I had or any dream. So, you wanna play basketball? Let's do it.
Yeah.
So we would sign up for like the rec team in North Carolina, or, she's like, oh, you want to become a model? Let's pursue that dream. And then because of her, I actually started DJing also.
Shout out to moms.
Yeah, mom's the best. She's
Damn,
awesome.
damn. Was your dad around?
No.
Oh, he wasn't around.
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was. He actually he was always around here and there, popping his head every once in a while.
Okay.
But no, my mother
He was
was
at the
mom
store
and
a
dad.
lot. Yeah, he's getting cigarettes a lot. Yeah,
you already know.
I got you.
Yeah.
Damn. So you learned from your brothers everything what not to do.
Exactly.
Similar to me. My brother was in jail. His whole teens went to prison, and I was like, and he's a year older than me, so it's like it's my right hand man. So I'm like, you taught me everything what not to do. So
exactly.
And then you go like the total opposite direction.
Exactly. That's exactly what happened to me.
That's beautiful. That's
Yep.
beautiful. So then you started DJing when? How?
All right. So then I did this reality show, the Spanish version of America's Next Top Model. Came back to North Carolina, and I was a superstar in North Carolina. I was the only girl to ever place in the top 12.
Were there a lot of Latinas out there, or Latin people in general, or?
I mean, North Carolina, when I moved to North Carolina, it was barely growing. Now it's like a little melting pot. Now you have a bunch of Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, Colombians, Mexicans. You find them everywhere. But
You're half Mexican, right?
Yeah, I'm half Mexican, half Dominican.
Okay.
Yeah, so then I started becoming an entrepreneur. I developed my own beauty pageant for girls in North Carolina, and I started promoting at nightclubs, bringing artists, bringing DJs. And at that time, one of my brothers had gotten out of jail, so he actually paroled in North Carolina, and we started doing these parties together, and everything took off from there. Started making money at a very young age, and my job was always to supervise the DJs. So we had this like very successful night in North Carolina on Thursdays. It was at this really nice venue, and my brother and I we would hire DJs from out of town to come out and perform. And my job was to supervise them and kind of let them know, hey, New York is different from North Carolina. You got to switch it up a little bit. So my job was to always be in the DJ booth. So I kind of got I got an idea of how DJs got down and how they mixed, and never wanted to become a DJ. I was practically the boss of the party.
Right.
But my mother just got to the point where, my mother's like, yo, we're spending so much money on these DJs. And, you practically supervise these people when they come into town. Why don't you just buy your own equipment and start DJing yourself? We'll save all that money. And, you could potentially start a career. And I said, nah, I frowned upon it. I was like, nah, I don't think that's a good idea. It's not for me.
Yeah.
But, we went through a time where we were going through some financial difficulties, and we had no choice but to kind of minimize our expenses. So I told my mother, I said, you know what? I think it's time to buy that DJ equipment.
Wow.
And she actually bought a controller for me. I did some classes with one of my cousins. He's an old school DJ from back in the day. Turntables, CDs, fucking mixing cassettes.
The right way, yeah.
So he's like old school. And he basically showed me the ropes, and the rest is history. I did a photo shoot with my headphones on. Forget it. I started getting calls from all over the country because remember, I did the reality show.
Right.
So people knew me from the reality show, and they're like, oh shit, you're a DJ now?
Right.
How much do you charge? I'm like, damn, this could potentially be,
Yeah, so
the next transition in life.
Right, for real. So do you enjoy like being a DJ more than the promoter, or did you want to go back to like being the promoter when you first started DJing? Like,
it's so funny because I tell Kelly, my manager, big shout out to Jules Entertainment. I tell Kelly all the time, I'm like, man, I just feel like I go through like these 4-year spans where I have to do something different with my life. So I think that once that whole promoting and, being in the clubs came to an end, I felt like I was ready to do something new. So the DJing was a blessing in disguise. I started traveling all over the country. I did 6 tours in Dominican Republic. My forte is Latin music. So I get down to the reggaeton, the dembow, the Latin house, the tropical music, the bachata. So I think that, honestly, for a Latin DJ, it's a little harder because you have to know how to mix all types of genres. You know, you got all different types of BPMs. So in the beginning, that was, you know, it was tough, but I enjoyed learning, and it was awesome just getting on stage and traveling. I really enjoyed that. So everything just took off.
That's dope. Is
yeah,
for
you know,
real. For real.
we've been working together for a few months now, so she's great.
We're still recording, right? Okay.
There's
cool.
nothing like having a female by your side.
No, for real. Facts. I need one in my life.
You need one
in my life.
Oh man,
yeah, boys out here single. Single. No, I'm just kidding. But
women know how to get the job done.
Yeah, for real.
You know, out of all my
good
managers, she gets me paid the most.
A good one. You have multiple managers?
I did in the past. Yeah.
Oh damn! So you cut them all off?
I did.
Oh,
I
so
did.
she's the
It's
last one standing?
She is.
Damn.
I think I'm gonna retire with this one.
So you're not afraid to fire somebody?
Oh, not at all. No, I'm not afraid to cut someone off.
Yeah.
Indefinitely. Like, yeah.
Have you always been like that, or?
Always.
Yeah.
Yeah, very
Why?
cutthroat. Very
Why?
cutthroat. I don't like wasting time.
Yeah, facts.
You know what I'm saying? I don't like
Facts.
wasting time. I feel like, you know, once you show your true colors, it's over.
Yeah, facts.
You know?
Yeah, facts. So let's get back to the DJing. So you made the transition to the DJ, to being a DJ. You're just getting booked off the rip.
So I'm just
Because
getting
of
booked off the
because of the
strength of me
modeling.
being on this reality show and the popularity that I gained.
Right.
So yeah, I started getting booked. This guy in Dominican Republic is like, hey, you know, would you like to DJ out here in DR? And, you know, I love Dominican Republic. It's such a vibe out there. And I'm like, hell yeah. I barely knew the guy. But I went out on a limb because I was so eager to just get out and try something new.
Yeah.
So he set up this nice little tour for me. And I've DJed at every major venue in Dominican Republic. From Punta Cana to Santo Domingo. To Santiago, I mean everywhere, Puerto Plata, everywhere you can imagine in Dominican Republic, I've DJed at, and that to me was like my biggest lesson.
Right.
When it came to DJing, because it's such a tough crowd out there.
Right.
When it comes to Latin music, reggaeton hits the Caribbean first, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, and then they start playing the hits in New York, starts trickling down to Miami, and then the West Coast gets it, you know, gets it later, a few months later.
Okay.
So imagine an artist drops a song tonight, tomorrow all the DJs are playing it in the club. In LA, it was culture shock when I went to LA, because in LA, it's like they don't play those songs until months later. Like they need to be bangers in order for you to play those songs. And the crowd is just so different. So DR is it was challenging at first because it's, you know, I didn't have any experience. But yeah, you know, I was able to learn on the road, and all types of crazy shit happened to me while I was DJing. You know, I had the music shut off on me.
Oh yeah, you
technical difficulties.
Did you ever feel like you were in over your head, considering like you just kind of started DJing, but you're like getting thrown into, you know, these serious big venues?
I mean, I never felt intimidated by any gig, any event. I felt like, you know, I always felt confident. Always felt confident, even though you know, a lot of people think DJing is, you know, it's easy. Nowadays you have controllers, you know. It's not like when it's not like the mecca of DJing, you know, when when DJs started learning how to scratch and use turntables and shit like that. Nowadays with Serato, everything is a lot easier. So it wasn't challenging in that sense. You know, I don't have to carry my crates anywhere. I got my music library and my DJing program. I think the most challenging part was figuring out the crowd and the music and how to hype them up on the mic. Making them dance and enjoy your set. I think to me was more of it was more difficult than the actual DJing process. Even though the mixing and the blending, obviously that's a science.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, you got to learn how to. You know, and every setup is different. You know, you know, I'm not gonna lie, I started DJing on a controller. That's how I started. But, you know, I have turntables at home. I have CDJs at home. I wanted to make sure that no one knocked me for being a fake DJ.
Right.
Which is, you know,
basically.
basically.
I mean, a lot of these DJs are fake DJs these days, huh?
Yeah, and I used to hire a lot of DJs that were fake DJs, but they were great on the mic.
Yeah.
They were great on the mic. They looked good, so they were able to draw a crowd. See, as a promoter, I look at that as well. You know, because when you go to a club, a lot of these, you know, these people, they don't care what setup you're playing on. At least in my experience, they just want to dance, have a good time.
Right.
They don't know if you're playing on CDJs with the S9 or the new, you know, they don't care about that. They just want to have a good time. So I used to hire DJs that had a, you know, stage presence, were good on the good MCs, and that were able to hype up the crowd.
Yeah, it's important being vocal. You know,
it is. I realized when I moved to LA, not a lot of DJs talk shit on the mic or hype up the crowds.
Yeah, that's important to me. As like if I'm in the club, like I want to hear, you know, DJ Franzen does this really well. He fucking like he has something clever to say, like for every song.
You gotta have
like,
your catch lines, your catchphrases.
Yeah, it makes the experience like so much better.
Yeah, and being bilingual at these crowds, you know, I talk shit in Spanish and in English.
That's
and
dope
it's
too,
very, you know what, and it's rare to see a girl go on stage and fuck shit up because it's you know, it's not common. It's not common to see a female DJ, you know, fuck shit up in this industry that's, you know, dominated by males, and that's been. I think more than anything, that's been something that, you know, has been. I've made a career trolling male DJs.
That's
good.
Because
they want to hate on me. They're like, oh, yo, you get booked because you look good.
You get a lot of,
so much hate, but really? I love it. I love it. I love it. I get so much hate. Oh, you're a female DJ. You know, of course they're gonna book you over. You know, a DJ that's been in the business for 20 plus years. Oh, it's because, you know, you have a big ass and titties. Of course, the promoters are gonna book you over, you know, a more talented DJ or a more experienced DJ. But I feel like when it comes to DJing, you need to know how to market yourself in order to get those opportunities.
Right. Facts.
You know, so I mean, it's been a struggle.
Yeah, you've
dealing with the hate, but you know, at the same time, I welcome it.
It's probably not just hate though. It's got to be creeps too. Like especially coming from the model world and now you're DJing. It's like I can only imagine like what you got to deal with.
Of course, with sleazy promoters and club owners. You know, sometimes I get booked because the promoters want, you know, and I'm keeping it real, right? Like this is what it is.
This is uncensored. Yeah.
It is what it is. I get booked mostly because they look at my profile. They see that I'm verified. Oh, she looks good. Oh, she got a blue check. She works for Golden Boy. Let's hire her. They've never seen me mix or blend or, you know, hype up a crowd. No, they don't care. I didn't care when I was a promoter. I wanted, you know, I honestly, that's you want to hire a DJ that's going to draw a crowd, who's going to, you know, do a good job and perform well.
Facts.
So, you know, I know that sex sells. So that's my marketing tool right there. I'm a businesswoman.
There you go.
So I use my sex appeal.
Yeah.
So
you have to.
Yeah. I absolutely have to. That's my advantage.
Right.
That's my advantage. And I use it to the maximum potential. Even though I have, you know, other DJs in the game that have no respect for me because they're like, oh, you know, she doesn't know how to mix, or, you know, she doesn't scratch, or she doesn't use turntables for her performances. You know, at the end of the day, I learned how to DJ in the digital era.
Right.
You know, you can't knock a photographer for not using a Polaroid camera.
Facts.
And say, oh, you're not a real photographer because you don't use old equipment.
It's not 1980 anymore. Yeah.
You know, and at the end of the day, we had this experience. Where were we on Saturday? We went to New Orleans.
Oh, okay.
We were in New Orleans, and it's so funny because, you know, obviously I have a writer, and my preference is either the S9 with the CDJs, with the newer CDJs, or a controller, which is an easy setup for me because I don't want to deal with the bullshit. I don't want to deal with having to, you want
to come in there and play. You don't
I want to go in there and kill it. So, you know, it's funny because a lot of these setups, they're old. So with the newer operating systems, they're just not compatible. So I don't want to, waste time or have mistakes fuck up the show just because I want to prove to the DJ that's playing before me that I know how to play on turntables. You know, it's like that's not what I got hired to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that's the main reason why these DJs, you know, they come at me hard and they're like, whatever, you just get booked. You know, because you probably fucked the promoters and shit. Like, think what you want, but you know what? Focus on your game. Focus on what you got to do.
Why are they worried about what you're doing?
You know, it's funny because, you know, some of these guys, you know, they want to talk shit about my looks, but they do nothing to improve theirs. You You know, they don't take dope photo shoots. I invest in my brand, in my image.
Facts.
You know, like if
you do a great job online. Great job, yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, that's part of the persona. So
it's all about perception. This game,
it's all about perception.
And if when you understand that and you like take that into account and you understand that's a big part of your business,
yeah,
then it
100%.
like yeah, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to play that game, this and that, and they don't get booked.
Exactly.
And then they're mad at the world. And they're mad at people like you.
Yeah, they're mad at people like me because they see that, you know, I'm successful at what I do. And, you know, they want to blame the fact that, you know, I'm a girl and I'm curvaceous and I have, you know, I have an advantage.
Yeah.
But it's not that. It's just, you know, I know how to market myself.
Yeah. But you're also, at the end of the day, you got to be good at what you do.
Exactly.
You got to have thick skin.
Yeah, you do, for sure.
You got that from Queens, or?
Of course, 100%.
Damn, man,
100%.
that is crazy. So you're not, so are you like, this is your welcome to Vegas interview? Are you living out here, or what's your situation?
Yeah, so I lived in LA for about 4 years. I still live in LA. I'm
How
back
is
and
that?
forth.
You like it, or you getting?
I love it.
Now,
you know what the thing is? I love LA. The weather's amazing. Obviously, you get taxed for the weather. So super expensive to live in LA.
Right.
I came out to Vegas because my mother lives out here with my brother, and I want to buy some real estate and you know. Level up and you know, transition into the next chapter in my life.
Yeah, for sure. So how long have you been DJing?
I've been DJing since 2015. So
so you're past your 4 years.
Almost 7 years.
You're past your 4 years.
Yeah.
Have you been itching to get into something else and kind of put DJing behind you?
You know what? The pandemic was a huge rude awakening for me. You know, when that shit happened and we had to take a break, everyone was forced to stay at home. It's like, damn, like, what else can I do with my life? You know, I can't depend on just doing these lives and asking people for tips, even though I respect DJs that was their grind during the pandemic. You know, a lot of people are like, Susie, why don't you just get on live and start DJing? I wasn't feeling it. Like I didn't want to do it. So I started doing my research and venturing out into other things, and I actually got really involved in stocks and crypto and
word.
Yeah,
nice,
and I threw a lot of my savings into assets and it's, you know.
So how's that crypto going for you?
It's going great.
Yeah,
it's going great. It's going great.
Cool.
Yeah,
that's good.
To the moon.
That's good, to the moon. That's what they say, huh?
That's what they say.
That's dope. So are you just gonna ride this out, or this DJ thing, or like do you have a plan?
So you know, we're on tour right now.
Okay.
So you know, we're back in the clubs and we're DJing. Golden Boy, you know, they're starting to do fights again. So obviously that's part of what I want to continue to do. But now I have these other ventures that I want to pursue, and I'm looking at like maybe 3 to 5 years tops, and then I'm gonna retire from DJing.
Word.
Yeah.
Unless somebody books you.
Unless somebody books me and it's like a huge event and I'm itching to get on stage again. Yeah. I mean, but I did it for so many years. Because the thing is, you know, a lot of people, you know, I don't have years of experience, but what I've done in the short span of me DJing has been incredible.
Yeah, you DJ'd
all over the world. You know, I DJ'd in a lot of different countries and, you know, in big venues and festivals. So I feel like, you know, I felt a little gassed out.
You kind of feel like there's just like you've hit your ceiling a little bit. You don't want to say that, but it kind of feels like that a little bit.
I just don't know what more I can do other than maybe go outside of the States and DJ maybe in Europe and explore new territories and make a name for myself elsewhere.
Yeah.
But right now, I'm just, you know, I'm enjoying what I'm doing, and you know, I have fun DJing, and
that you DJ'd Triple G versus Canelo.
I did.
That's epic.
I've DJ'd.
Epic.
I've DJ'd in Madison Square Garden.
Epic,
I've DJ'd in the T-Mobile Arena, the MGM Grand Arena.
Epic, yeah.
I've DJ'd everywhere.
How come you've never gotten with like or maybe I'm wrong, but have you ever gotten with an artist and like been like the official DJ for that artist?
I've opened up for a lot of artists.
Right.
I've opened, but not. I've never gone on tour with an artist.
Build an artist up.
No. That was.
She's like, hell no.
I do well by myself.
Right.
So I mean, it was never like, oh, I'm fiending to go on tour with an artist.
Has any of these? I'm sure these artists have hit you up, been like, be my DJ on tour.
Oh yeah. And I definitely I've DJed and I've done a lot of parties, but you know, nothing to an extent where, you know, we're signing a contract and I'm exclusive to any particular artist.
You don't feel like that would be a step you should take? Like if Bad Bunny said, "Come be my DJ."
Oh yeah, of course. If an opportunity
Yeah,
like that
yeah.
presented itself, yeah,
Mhm.
of course we would, Kelly sign the contract.
Yeah.
We would actually do something huge like that.
Mm.
But what I did prior to the pandemic, I would do like my little music videos. I would do my own mixes, and I don't know if you've seen some of my
Yeah, I
music
saw.
videos.
Yeah, oh yeah, I stalked you for sure on YouTube. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I was gonna ask you, how come you haven't posted anything in a while on YouTube?
You know what? We're gonna get back into it.
Yeah, you
We're
should,
gonna
for
get back
sure.
into it. I'm telling you, the pandemic was like a major like pause in my career.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah, as far as like all the plans that I had, and
Yeah, you should vlog and shit.
and production and all that.
You would go crazy vlogging.
Yeah,
You
that's
should
what.
do all that. It's just like
Maybe, who
it's
knows?
like vlogging. I've tried vlogging. It's annoying. It's fucking annoying. You know,
Is it? So you don't recommend?
I mean, it's something you have to get used to. You have to understand, like, you're doing it for a business. You're doing it as part of your brand. You know, it's
exactly.
gonna
Yeah,
pay
yeah.
off. But it's just like, walking. Like, it's like the intimate conversations.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
backstage or something. They're being filmed, so it doesn't really feel as genuine anymore.
Yeah,
and you're
yeah.
like,
I think you would. I'm the type of person. I need to feel passionate about something
yeah.
in order for me to really go gung ho and pursue it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, other than that, right now I'm like weighing my options. I just moved to Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow we're gonna look at some condos. Potentially buy some real estate
You should.
and look more into establishing a future, which is
Yeah.
what I didn't do while I was DJing. I was a rock star for a few years, and
Yeah.
you don't, when you're in the clubs all the time and you're living the life
Mm-hmm.
and you're traveling, you really don't prepare for a future,
Mm-hmm.
especially when you don't have the proper management.
Mm,
And it's so important to have great representation.
for sure.
Someone that, keeps you balanced and
Mm-hmm.
sees the potential and wants to help you grow.
Mm-hmm.
So I never really had that in the past.
Did you act as your own manager? Did you pretend?
You
Emails and all that?
No, never that,
No.
that. But I did work with a few people that were inexperienced,
Mm-hmm.
and I kind of had to set the tone and kind
Mm.
of show them how to do,
Their job.
certain,
Yeah.
how to close certain deals and shit like that,
yeah.
But
Where did you learn all that? You just been bossy your whole life? Or?
yeah, pretty
okay.
much, pretty much,
I
pretty
feel it.
much, pretty
I feel
much.
it.
My mom's a boss bitch.
Yeah,
I have to
yeah.
say, I gotta
Yeah.
give it to her. So
Yeah.
I get it from her.
Yeah,
Definitely.
because a lot of creatives and people in the industry, it's like a weird industry because nobody teaches you how to do business. Business isn't done
Oh, man.
traditionally,
Yeah.
so it's really tough to learn. What advice can you give, a young female DJ in particular
Yeah.
that's just getting her feet wet? What would you say to her?
It's crazy because I'm reading a book right now, and it talks about how to take responsibility for your actions and be accountable for your actions, right?
Mhm.
We're so quick to blame the next person,
Mhm.
and we really don't do the necessary changes to kind of fix what's wrong.
Right.
We're so quick to just, oh man,
Mhm.
you fucked this deal up for me,
Mhm.
and we really have to take accountability for the decisions we make when it comes to choosing the right circle.
Mhm.
So if I had to give a piece of advice to any DJ, not just female DJs, do your job, your due diligence, and make sure that the people that are in your circle are trustworthy, loyal people.
Mhm.
And that's extremely hard right there.
Mhm.
That right there in itself is a hard task to find someone that really has your best interests at heart.
Mhm.
That's not in it for them, that really wants to help you grow.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, it's a shady business. People take advantage of you all the time. Promoters take advantage of you. Club owners take advantage of you. So
Yeah.
it's tough. So I think there's nothing better than experience.
Yeah. For sure.
And that was my case for sure, especially when I first started off.
Mhm. Yeah.
Because when you start a career, you're just so eager to get out there
Yeah.
and do your job,
You're
but
like blind to everything that's really going on around.
and you trust everyone that's around you,
Right,
and you
right.
trust what they tell you,
Mhm.
so you don't know any better.
Mhm.
But you just I feel like we need to do our due diligence and really scope out those people in our lives that we decide to work with.
For sure. Yeah, it's finding the right people to have around you is like the hardest thing in life, period.
Oh, it's the hardest thing.
How do you balance, like, you're a hardworking woman. I see, I
I
follow you.
try.
I follow you on Instagram. You're like everywhere. You're in a new city every
Yeah.
every weekend, and you're working all the time. How do you
Yes.
balance your personal life with that?
Let's see. Let's see. You know what? When it's so funny because there's a lot of DJs I know that they're in business with their partners.
Mm,
So a few of the female DJs I know that are killing it right now,
mm-hmm,
their managers either their boyfriend or their husband.
mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of trust there.
Yeah.
I feel like things are starting to flow now because I'm in business with
Mm,
my partner in life. So,
mm,
we that right there within itself is just it's a blessing because you want to work with someone that you could rely on and someone that has your best interests at heart.
mm,
So I feel like in the past I've made the wrong mistakes trying to bring certain people on board
mm.
that, were not in it for me. They were in it for the money or for,
Yeah.
for the fame or just traveling and
Yeah.
meeting new people, and
Yeah.
they weren't really in it for me. So I think it's just important
Yeah.
to focus on your relationships.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's I mean, it's tough because you get caught up in the whirlwind of working. And, you're in the club all the time. You're
Oh
drinking. You're
yeah,
doing
oh
this
yeah.
and that, and then you look up and, all this time has gone by, and it's like, fuck, your life has got to be a blur.
Yeah.
It's got to be a blur.
Oh, 100%, 100%, 100%.
You take vacations or?
Jeez. I don't, not recently,
Mm,
but I mean, my life is a vacation.
mm.
I don't have
Perspective. That's a hell of a perspective.
yeah, I don't have a regular job. I'm very blessed.
Mhm.
I'm very blessed.
Mm-hmm.
And I always show respect to all these other DJs, to my colleagues, right?
Yeah.
Even though hate me and you feel like,
Yeah.
I get booked for other reasons.
Mhm.
Like I have a lot of respect for these DJs that have been in the business for 10 plus, 20 plus years,
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not an easy job to be a DJ, and it's hard dealing with people that, they're not good booking agents or
No.
managers and things like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
So many loophole, like so many fucking hoops you got to jump through.
oh yeah, 100%.
Especially with tendinitis. You
Oh,
got that
man,
cast.
sir,
It
I
makes it
know
even
this-
harder.
This spleen, I know it's not sexy,
Yeah.
but
That's crazy. She's
Yeah.
still out here. Even do you want to tell that story
about
about how you got tendinitis? I feel like the people should know because it's a pretty hilarious story.
I mean, it's funny because you would think that it was through DJing or
Yeah, I thought it was like
hard labor or some
dude,
shit
she's
like
out here
that. But I'm out
DJing
here
for real,
typing
yeah.
and no, nothing like that. I actually, for those of you that follow me, you guys know that I have a pet chameleon at home and I have a little teacup Yorkie. I love animals.
Mm,
I don't have kids, but my animals are my kids.
mm,
So I have a pet chameleon that got sick during the pandemic.
mm-hmm,
I guess, he was my first reptile. They're height maintenance animals. You have to keep their enclosure at a certain, temperature and humidity level.
mm-hmm,
So he got sick, took him to an exotic vet.
mm-hmm.
He tells me, that they diagnosed him with a disease that affects their bones, and it's common in chameleons.
Mm.
So he's like, you need to keep his enclosure really wet.
Mm.
Really wet, and his temperature needs to be at a certain level. They need to live like in a tropical
Humid
environment.
Yeah.
So I wasn't doing that. I was on the road all the time, so I really wasn't paying attention.
Yeah.
I really didn't take good care of him.
Mm-hmm.
But during the pandemic, I started realizing that, like, it started affecting his eyes. His eyes, like, I wake up, his eyes like closed shut one day, and they diagnosed him with this disease, and I tried my best to keep him alive because he was on the verge of dying.
Mm-hmm.
And I would literally wet his enclosure 10 to 15 times a day for like 30 seconds at a time. That repetitive use of your tendon, that movement right there gave me tendinitis.
I'm sorry. It's. I know you're going through a lot of pain. I don't mean to laugh at you.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
It's just
Yeah.
such a random story.
But I don't regret it. I saved his life. He's good now. He's living in Vegas now.
Yeah.
So he's
Maybe that's
He's good.
God trying to push you out of DJing and onto your next journey.
maybe I
crazy.
should become an exotic vet. I'm an expert when it comes to chameleons now.
Oh man, are you religious? I know you went to Catholic school.
I'm Catholic. Yes, I'm Catholic. I'm
Okay.
not overly religious.
Okay, cool.
But I do believe in God, and I
Oh.
feel like everyone has their their individual relationship with God, and I definitely have my own.
Mm.
Even though I don't go to church or
Okay, that was my next
I
question.
don't read the Bible or
Right.
I'm not deep into it, but
Mhm.
yeah, I believe God exists for
Yeah,
sure.
church is weird, especially Catholic church. You know,
I mean, a lot of people feel that way about the Catholic Church.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my best friend was Mexican, and they were growing up. So you know, going to his house, growing up in his house. You know, like the traditional Mexican mom. You know, with the very religious and all that around the house. And
yeah, of course.
And you know, I went to Catholic school and all that too. And when I got older, I'm like, this shit is weird.
Yeah,
I'm never
really?
coming back here. Yeah, it's weird.
I feel like that's every religion. Every religion has their.
It's weird, yeah.
I mean, it all depends. It all depends. It all depends. But
are you spiritual? You would say.
I feel like I'm spiritual.
I feel like that's what us kids these days call it. You know.
Yeah, that's exactly what our generation calls it. Yeah.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, they always try to get me.
That's
back
our cop out. We don't say we're religious. We say we're spiritual.
Yeah, facts. Well, I think it rings more true. You know, because I think we're smarter. We're smarter than any other humans that have lived yet.
I don't think we're smarter. I think we're less closed-minded. Yeah, we're less closed-minded, and we you know, our experiences are way different than our parents and our grandparents and what they went through, you know?
Yeah, facts. Yeah, they didn't have access to the information we have. I think that's the biggest thing. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, 100%. For sure. 100%,
yeah. So let's talk about OnlyFans.
Let's do it.
What was the decision into creating an OnlyFans?
You know what? The only regret I have about OnlyFans is not doing it sooner. Yeah, because I knew about OnlyFans maybe a year prior to doing it. I had a few friends that were on OnlyFans. And
when did you start?
I started during the pandemic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you know, I was like, I gotta make money somehow.
Yeah, facts. Yeah.
I can't travel right now. You know, DJing is dead. Can't do that. So obviously I needed to maintain a certain income. So I jumped on that OnlyFans tip, and that was a blessing in disguise too. Because you know, it's crazy with OnlyFans. You know, a lot of people frown upon it. But it's really a way to interact with your true fans.
Because they pay to talk to you.
They pay to, and they fuck with you. The ones that really wanted, you know, they want that access to you, they'll pay whatever. Even if it's vulgar, even if they want to see you, they want to see your titties, they want to see your ass, they want to see you in a thong, you know. But it's crazy because a lot of these guys that I've met on OnlyFans, these guys just want to talk. You know, they just want to have that. You know, that close encounter with someone that they follow. Yeah. Not a celebrity, you know, but someone that's actually, you know, someone that they feel like they can get to know. And I think OnlyFans has been, you know, a great decision that I was able to execute.
You probably got a bag. Yeah. The OnlyFans girls the OnlyFans girls the girls that I shouldn't call you an OnlyFans girl. I'm sorry. I apologize. But the girls that I know have OnlyFans, I had Brooklyn Wren. She's a UFC octagon girl. I had her up here, and she was telling me I was like, you make that much?
Yeah, I bet. See, you know what the thing, it's a hack. Yeah, OnlyFans is a hack. If you look good and you don't, you know, you don't mind like exploiting your sexuality, why not? You know, it's an extra way to make money. Yeah, it's an easy way to make money. You know, if you're already, this is the thing, right? Everybody that sees or follows my Instagram, you know, they know that I always put out sexy content. That's what I like to do. I like putting out my bikini shots, and that's just a part of my personality. I've been doing it since way back in the day.
Sex sells.
And I like it. I feel like, you know, that's a true form of expression right there. Yeah. Freedom of expression through sexuality is liberating. It really is. So it's funny because I was kind of opposed to doing the whole OnlyFans thing.
Because it was like a bad connotation attached to it.
Yeah, because everyone thinks OnlyFans is porno and it's you know, it's fucking sex and masturbating and all this crazy shit. You know, that's how it is. That's what people think about it. But it's what you design your page to be, and how you want to, you know, how you want people to perceive your page. Yeah. So when I decided to do OnlyFans, it was actually a DJ that left a comment on one of my pictures.
You want some more tequila? You looking at the bottom?
Yeah, I do.
Looking at
actually.
the bottom of that glass. I see you.
We just getting started. Appreciate it.
She's the responsible one.
She is.
But sorry, go ahead.
No, so you know, in the beginning I was opposed to it. I was like, fuck, that's not good for my image. It's not a good look, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I work for Golden Boy, and you know,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
still, even though my content's very sexy, I've always tried to maintain this, this professional
Yeah, you don't want
look.
to give away too much.
Exactly. So I had this one DJ comment on one of my pictures, or it was a video, and he's like, "Oh, why don't I think it was a video of me. I was like strutting in like a G-string bikini from Fashion Nova because
Yeah.
I'm an ambassador for Fashion Nova, so they give
Mm-hmm.
me a lot of clothes, so I have to always create content and post Fashion Nova. So I did this video, and this guy was like, "Hey, why don't you just you look like a porn star, like aren't you a real like you're not a DJ, like you're just a porno star?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, I think I went on a rant about that because I'm like,
Uh.
it's so funny how women just automatically get this.
Yeah, they get thrown into that box.
Yeah, and it sucks because Instagram is all about sex appeal.
Mm-hmm.
The IG models, and it's just a platform for you to create content, and you're the driver of that vehicle, and my whole thing has always been sexy content.
Mm-hmm.
When he says that and compares me to a porn star, I'm like, fuck, I bet he's not the only person that thinks that.
Yeah.
I guarantee you there's a lot of people that think that way about me.
Mm-hmm.
So if they already think that way about me, why not
Capitalize.
exploit it and execute on that idea?
Yeah.
And I mean, it was a wrap from there on.
Cha-ching.
It was a wrap from there. And it's not like I don't go crazy on my OnlyFans. A lot
I haven't
of my,
checked it out. Just a disclaimer, I didn't check it out.
Alright.
Yeah.
A lot of my content is more like implied nudity, or it's lingerie, a little sexier than the content I do on OnlyFans. I don't do that porno shit, or how a lot of guys, they often request like a lot of explicit content. I don't do any of that, but it was a way for me to make extra money,
Yeah, for sure.
and it kept me afloat throughout
Yeah.
the pandemic,
Yeah.
and I still do it. So it's like a side hustle for me.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's good if it's a side hustle. I mean, if it works,
Yeah.
work it. Shit.
Look, this is the thing. I don't want to be 50 years old, regret being old and wrinkly, and
I don't think you're gonna look old and wrinkly. You probably still have an OnlyFans at 50.
maybe.
You
Who
probably
knows?
got some little 25-year-olds like
Yeah,
sending you-
I'll probably, yeah, yeah, MILF status at that
for
point.
real, for real.
Yeah.
God willing. God willing. Yeah.
But yeah, so it just, to me, it was like, let me just capitalize on my sex appeal. Why not?
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
It's not like they're gonna stop booking me because I have an OnlyFans.
Yeah.
If anything, I've gotten booked way more because of that, and I've created a bigger following because of my OnlyFans.
yeah, for sure.
So it's just,
Yeah, if you would have started it earlier, because the pandemic is like when it really kind of went mainstream.
it did, yeah.
It's okay.
It did.
It's okay.
Or maybe not. Maybe at the time I started was like
Perfect. Yeah.
the perfect timing.
Maybe, yeah. Yeah, you've gained a lot of notoriety, especially in the Latin community, obviously.
100%.
Do you deal with like people treating you weird because you're famous, or you're like, you're a familiar face, and do people get weird around you or try to attach themselves to you? Or?
I think above all, people get the wrong idea when it comes to, should I approach her? Is she even approachable? But I'm down as fuck. Like, I'm super cool. Like, if you come, especially during the Golden Boy events, I have fans come up to me all the time, requesting pictures and videos and selfies, and I am the most chill chick when it comes to showing love to people that support me. So I think that I think it's just mostly people thinking that I'm stuck up and I'm not
They think that?
approachable. Oh yeah.
Oh, really? Well,
Oh,
well,
yeah.
I kind of had a cheat code because Exile really went in on how cool you are. So
Oh, no
Yeah,
doubt. That's
yeah.
all. He's my boy.
yeah, shout out Exile. Yeah,
Yeah,
facts.
big shout out to Exile.
Yeah, it's got to be weird though. I mean, I'm sure people like try to get close to you to get close to somebody you're close to and do all that extra weird shit.
Yeah, man, I've had a lot of I've had a
Yeah.
lot of weird shit happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna tell this story. This is the first time
Let's
I've
hear
ever
it. Let's hear it.
this is the first time I've ever spoken about this publicly, And I'm not gonna say any names, right? But this is the thing, right? I feel like I have a very, unique personality. Because I could go from the Kelly Kapowski to like the fucking Ronda Rousey, you know, in a split second.
Yeah.
So, you know, I could talk to you about beauty pageants and the Miss Universe, but I could also talk to you about professional wrestling and how Sting is the fucking best wrestler of all time, and the WCW era and the WWF era and the Monday Night Wars, you know. Big shout out to all my wrestling geeks. But that's just how, that's the type of personality I have, is because, you know, obviously I grew up with all these boys. So I think when it comes to guys, sometimes they get the wrong impression, where we're just having a regular conversation and they misinterpret the conversation and automatically assume, oh, she's into me. She likes me.
She's flirting with me.
She wants it. Oh, she wants it. She wants some of this.
Right.
And it's not that. It's just, and Kelly tells me this shit all the time. She's like, oh, man, you're just too friendly with people.
Yeah, you can't be too nice to guys.
Yeah,
Our minds just go, you know.
Unfortunately, right? But
yeah.
But it's funny because there's like, man, I'm gonna
tell the story.
All right, so there's this guy on IG. He's kind of famous.
Kinda?
Yeah, he's kind of famous.
Okay.
He was my boy. We were cool. I probably saw him one time ever in life. We kind of developed a friendship over the phone. You know, as far as like, you know, just chopping it up. How you doing? And we just, you know, we became friends.
Casual
shit. Mind you, had only met him one time prior to this. I had DJ'd at his birthday party. So I never really hung out with the guy. I know nothing about him. Never sat down for coffee and anything like that. And I don't know what happened. I think he might have misinterpreted like some shit.
You smiled at him. You smiled at him.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if that's what it was, but I think, you know, he was like really eager to like meet me in person. And I'm in LA. I don't know how he snuck into my building. He got past security.
No, not your house.
And the thing is, I was living with I had a roommate at the time.
Yeah.
He had lost his key. He steps out, leaves the door open. Luckily, my mother was at home. And I hear he had left already. My roommate had left. And I hear the door open. So I'm thinking it's my roommate coming back. So I'm like, bro, is that you? Is that you? No response.
Oh.
And literally, I'm like in my fucking underwear. Like I'm chilling in my bed at home, just no makeup, just chilling.
Right.
This guy walks all the way to my room.
No.
I mean, he unannounced. He literally just walks in my house, thinking that I was gonna get hyped when I saw him or some shit. Like, oh,
was he drunk or on drugs or something?
I don't know, but I mean, would you walk into a girl's house unannounced?
No.
Actually,
never.
open her door and walk all the way to her room?
No, that's a case.
That's a case, but you know. So it's crazy because and then he's wearing a mask. Obviously, it's during the pandemic, so I'm like, but I recognized him. I knew it was him.
Right. He's still wearing the mask.
And my mom's next to me, right? My mom's just chilling on the bed. We're at home.
Yeah.
And my mom gets startled, like, who is this person that just walks in here, you know? And then when I recognized him, I went to cover myself, and he literally goes to hug me.
Oh,
and I'm like, how
God.
uncomfortable can this possibly get? Like, I'm not even responding to you being in my house. Like,
and you're
I'm like, yo, what are you doing? I'm like, what are you doing here? What are you doing here?
You didn't punch him in his face or like
no,
freak
he
out?
fucking goes to the living room, he turns the TV on, and
Oh,
I think
he had to be on drugs.
I don't think so. I think some guys are just fucked up in the head like that. They think that they could, do certain things and get away with it.
So he walks into your house unannounced, comes into your room, and then goes in the living room
and then chills in the living room, thinking I'm gonna go out and welcome him. Like, oh my God, so nice seeing you. Like, no, not at all. I feel embarrassed. I feel ashamed. I feel violated.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like, that's probably the craziest shit that's happened to me with someone that I barely know.
Yeah, it's probably because he was probably a little famous himself, so he's probably used to doing whatever he wanted to do with women.
Let's give him the benefit of the doubt.
I mean, you know what? I don't want to give him the benefit of the doubt, but that's the only logical thing I could think about going through his mind.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
that's not good. You shouldn't do that.
Yeah, no, of course not. I mean, how you imagine I had a gun underneath my pillow.
You should have shot him. You should have shot him. He deserved to get shot. You know, he
Maybe
deserved to get shot.
we lived in Texas or some shit like that.
Man, that's like some real rapey behavior right there.
It's
Real
just weird. And I just think about, what if my mother weren't there? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, it could have escalated to something complete, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
I always think about forensic files and you know, all these crazy cases and human behavior. You just never know. You never know what these people are thinking or what their intentions are.
Yeah. Damn, that's scary. It's got to be scary moving around as a woman in general, huh?
I mean, it couldn't, you know, I knew the guy, right? At least I knew who he was. But had that been a Instagram follower or an OnlyFans, you know, subscriber.
If somebody wants to find out where you live, they'll find out.
Yeah. And then I get upset at my boy. He's down. My boy's the security guard. And I'm like, bro, what the fuck? Like, how did you let him? How did you let him go through? I guess he waited for him to get up from his desk.
Oh, he snuck past.
And he snuck past, and a resident walked out of the building, and he went in, goes up the elevator.
Bro is thirsty.
Not even, the thing is, he didn't even knock on my door. Like, hey, like his intention was literally to creep on me like that. It's just weird. I don't know.
Have you talked to him since?
Of course, I cut him off.
Did you?
Cut him off.
So how did this end though? How did that episode end? Did you just kick him out, or did you like?
I had to speak to his manager about it. His manager. I called his manager after that, and I'm like, "Yo, what the fuck just happened? Like this."
But he left like on his own.
No. So I'm in the bathroom, and I feel violated because he saw me in my bra and my panties. Right. I'm with my mom, so I don't give a fuck. You know, we're just chilling, watch. I don't know what we were watching, but I go in the bathroom, and I'm like, "Damn, should I go and talk to this guy?" Like. But I was like, no, this is weird. It's a weird situation. So I told my mom, like, can you go tell him that, you know, I'll talk to him later if he could please leave. And so then, you know, obviously, I guess, you know, my mother went to go speak to him and he left. And, you know, I sent him a message. I'm like, you know what? Like,
lines have been crossed.
Like, that's not cool. You don't do that. You don't do that.
Yeah, no, you don't do that. You don't want that on your reputation either. Like, I feel like you gotta tell people about that though, right? As a woman, because that's creepy behavior. Because he'll do it to somebody else.
You know what? At the end of the day, you know, I'm responsible because I left my door open. I didn't lock my door after my roommate left, so that's my fault for leaving the door open. Why didn't he lock the door? He didn't have his key. He had lost his key.
Oh, he lost his key. That's right.
When he left, he didn't tell my mother that he was leaving. So he left, and I was, you know, thank God it didn't escalate to anything crazier than that.
My ex-girlfriend broke into my window one time.
Did she?
Yeah, she crept in through my window.
Bitches are crazy too, man. It's not just guys, man. Girls are nuts too, man. You gotta watch out with these girls.
Girls go crazy for you too, though, huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, not anymore. Not anymore.
Okay. Hi, Kelly. Yeah, no, but I mean, you got fans that are girls that I'm, you know, girls.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Girls.
I mean,
girls violate other girls a lot too.
Oh yeah.
You have to like swat a bitch down sometimes, or like, how does that work? Because I'm sure, you know, girls, they you gotta grab each other's asses, grab each other's titties and all this.
Yeah. Like, it be like that sometimes.
Yeah, but like,
it be like that sometimes.
How you deal with that?
I mean, recently,
I
haven't dealt with that much, but in the past, girls come up to me, you know, they try kissing me or hugging me, or, you know, they'll grab my ass, or they'll. I mean, I don't feel offended if a girl did it. You know, if a girl did it, just, you know, she's being playful. It's whatever. I don't feel threatened. You know, they're just lines you don't cross. So obviously, if a guy did that shit to me,
it's a wrap.
I mean,
you ever had to fight somebody?
No.
Never had to punch somebody in their face or do anything to get somebody off you?
No, I haven't. I have had other people fight.
Oh, okay.
Like, I've had either my assistant or my manager.
Oh, that's part of the gig?
My manager got punched.
Part of the gig, Kelly?
My ex-manager got punched.
Beat bitches up out here.
My ex-manager got punched in the face twice.
For what?
And then my assistant actually got.
Why?
You ever seen The Fresh Prince where Jazz gets thrown?
Oh, through the window? Yeah.
That was my friend that night, unfortunately.
Oh,
but yeah,
God.
but thank God I've never had to get in a physical altercation with anybody. I've had to snuff people, but
snuff people.
People
Can you
have
show us your snuff? Is it just like a stiff arm?
Like a mush, you know, a mush. Like, the fuck out of here.
Yeah, people get drunk and get a little too close.
Yeah,
too close. Yeah. Damn, you got to deal with so much shit as a girl. You know, I can't even imagine in the nightlife and all that.
Oh yeah, for sure. Even with club promoters.
Yeah.
Some club promoters, you know, they think that because they hired you, they're at liberty to just talk to you a certain way, or
they feel entitled to,
or they feel like they could flirt with you and
yeah. So how did the Golden Boy situation come about?
Man, I think I actually manifested that into existence when I was younger. I was always a big boxing fan. Watched boxing my whole life, and Oscar obviously was the man during our childhood. You know what I'm saying? He was the man, and it just turned out that my best friend at the time was, we were roommates, and they started dating. And she actually plugged me. She was
dating Oscar.
She was dating Oscar.
Oh, okay.
And she plugged me. And she told Oscar, "Oh, my friend's a DJ, this and that." So, we had a private party in Cabo, and he invited us, and he's like, "Tell your friend to bring her equipment on the PJ."
Oh shit!
I want to hear her mix
on the PJ.
Yeah, so we flew private from LA to Cabo, and we brought a little monitor and the controller, and we were just fucking going crazy in the private jet.
That's
and Oscar
epic.
was like, "Damn, yo, you're really good."
Yeah.
And he, sure enough, he started booking me.
Oh, damn, that's epic.
No, it was awesome.
DJing on a private jet is like your audition.
Yup, that was my audition.
How is he in person?
He's cool. Oscar's
online he's crazy.
Big shout out to Oscar De La Hoya. He's a good guy. I feel like he's what is it? He's like people misinterpret his personality or who he is.
Clips and all that shit. Yeah.
But he's super down to earth. He's a good time. I think that's what could potentially get him in trouble. As far as the media goes and shit like that.
But media is ruthless.
Yeah, but he's a good guy. He's a good guy. We've been working with him for about almost 4 years now.
Dope. So do you like DJing those boxing events?
Oh, they're my favorite thing to do.
Oh, they're your favorite? Oh.
They're my favorite thing to do because, the highlight of my DJing career was DJing in Madison Square Garden in front of 20,000 people. It was exhilarating. Yeah. I grew up a Knicks fan, so to DJ at the Garden was like, is this shit real right now? Is this really happening?
Yeah, coming from Queens. Damn.
Yeah,
MSG.
and then getting the crowd to sing your songs and just hyping everyone up. And those Canelo fights get crazy with all those Mexicans.
Yeah, facts.
So you throw down the fucking Mexican bangers and everyone's drunk.
Yeah, Chico,
waving their flags.
Chico,
it's a vibe. It's amazing.
Yeah, better than the clubs and all that. It's kind of the same thing, huh?
It's a completely different experience. I feel like DJing a sporting event and DJing in a club, because you're in and out in the club. It's like I DJ for an hour, boom. I arrive, do my set, I'm out.
Yeah.
When you're DJing for a TV production, it's completely different. You got to listen to the producers in the back and make sure everything it goes according to plan. And one little fuck up just messes up the whole program.
Yeah, because the TV and all that, you gotta like be in sync with all that.
You have to be in sync with everything.
So you gotta be locked in.
Yeah, it's tough.
Pressure? Is it pressure? Like, you ever felt like you're shit, like, you about to fold?
I think the first Golden Boy gig I did was the toughest, and then I learned all my lessons from that gig. See, I'm the type of person, if I fuck up, I would try my best to not make those same mistakes the next time around. Because I'm such a perfectionist, I dwell on all my mistakes.
Right.
To the point where I stress myself out.
Yeah.
I'm an overthinker.
It eats at you.
It eats at me. So I pop an edible and I'm just like, how do I fucking fix this shit?
Let's talk about that. Let's do it. So you don't smoke weed?
I used to.
Okay.
So when I moved to LA, I started smoking.
Did you smoke as a kid?
No, never. Never.
You were valedictorian, top of
your
class and all that. Yeah,
I was undefeated in chess club. I take pride in that.
Hey, we can get a chess game going for sure.
Yeah, you know how to play chess.
Oh, come on now. Yeah, right. What's funny is about one of my close friends. He's been in prison since we were 17. So I've been visiting him for this.
They're the best chess players.
I'm 30, so I learned how to play chess from him going to visit
Going
him
to
on a
visit
visit.
him?
Yeah, yeah. So we can get down for sure.
Man, it just
sure.
I love chess. It's great. I've been playing since I was younger. Same thing when my
Dope.
brothers were locked up, we would go on in the VI and play chess. My dad's actually incarcerated as we speak.
Oh, sorry.
So yeah, so he's a big time chess player also. So I think that
They're the best. They're
I
the
acquired
best.
my skills from them.
Yeah, facts. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So you don't smoke, or you started smoking.
So when I moved to California, I started smoking. Obviously, in the East Coast, it wasn't legal.
Right.
Moved to LA, and it's like, what the fuck? It's like you go to the dispensary. It's like the Apple store for potheads.
Facts.
So it was, I was like, wow. I felt liberated because I was in a brand new city, and one of my friends, big pothead, he started smoking, and man, it's just honestly, I feel like the first time I smoked weed, I went on a crazy high. Like it was,
Yeah, he's too high.
it was torturous. I told myself I would never do it again. I wanted to call the ambulance. I was tripping. I went to another dimension. I saw my spirit flow out of my body. It was pretty bad. But you know what I realized about weed, right? And I respect people that don't, they don't fuck with marijuana. That's cool. But what I realized about weed is just, once you know how to control your high, it's the best thing ever.
You gotta fight the weed sometimes.
Yeah. And once you know, honestly, because it's mental, once you know how to control those emotions when you're high, and you really just start orchestrating whatever it is that you're trying to execute, and I do it for creative purposes or to just relax, because I feel like I'm stressed most of the time. So when I pop an edible, it's like, okay, let me just relax and I just go deep in my thoughts, and I feel like it's so liberating. I don't smoke anymore. I used to. It triggered my asthma. I was asthmatic when I was younger.
Oh wow.
And then I smoked so much, I have bitch lungs. It started fucking up my asthma, and I promised God, I was like, I can't do this shit no more. I'm not gonna.
It's not worth it.
It's not worth it. And then I have to get on the mic and can't be coughing. I just needed to take care of my health.
What about vaping?
No, I can't do
vaping?
any of that.
Okay.
Can't do any of that. But I do edibles. I love edibles.
Yo, edibles just do not agree with me.
Why is that?
The last time I took an edible, and I promised I would never take an edible again, I was playing Mortal Kombat with my buddies. I was actually living in LA at that time, and we took an edible. I made the beginner's mistake. I took a bite. Nothing happened.
What did you have, like a brownie or
Brownie.
something? Okay.
And I'm like, okay, it's not kicking in. Boom, eat the whole thing, okay? So I'm like playing the game, and then I'm looking at the screen, I'm just like, I'm losing. I'm like, why am I keep losing, right? And then I look down at my hands, I'm like, I can't move my hands.
Oh my God.
It was bad, and then I just sat in the couch and just like, I was like frozen.
Yeah.
For like
you were
8
stuck.
hours. For like 8 hours.
Yeah,
and then every edible I've taken before that, it's kind of been similar. And it's just like,
really?
It's like it's like an halluc. I think I just take too much.
Maybe that's what it is.
I just go too hard, I don't have limits.
I think maybe what it is you don't have patience.
I don't have patience.
You know that you smoke and you're high like within 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But with edibles, you really need to let it kick in.
But it's a different kind of high. Doing edibles.
100%.
It's a little bit more trippy.
Yeah.
Than just being high.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
I respect the fuck out of you for that.
Yeah.
Because I can't handle the fucking edibles.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Do you just do gummies or?
I do gummies. It depends. I love Vegas because you guys have the Planet 13 out here.
Yeah.
That shit is dope. That dispensary is.
You gotta
official.
go to Hardin. They got some cool shit over there.
Hardin,
too.
okay.
Yeah.
I need to go.
Yeah,
I need to go.
Yeah, they'll probably. You know what? I'm gonna plug you with them over there. I'm gonna
Plug me,
you. Yeah,
let's
I'm
do
gonna
it.
plug you. Yeah, you don't have any sponsorships or anything
For
from?
weed? No.
Oh, what? Because
actually,
people don't know. People don't know.
You know what? This is the first time I've actually publicly said that I've consumed marijuana.
Oh,
I've never.
I would never think.
Really?
I would never think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Think. Especially edibles.
You know
edibles
what's
are for like fucking like soldiers.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah, for real.
You know what's crazy is that my mother's actually okay with it now.
Oh, dope.
And my mother, she's Catholic. She's
Right.
like old school,
Drugs.
closed-minded,
Right, right.
marijuana, fuck that.
Yeah.
But I think she noticed that it helps me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't do it for the fuck of it. I do it because I feel I get really bad anxiety sometimes. So, I do it to kind of calm down and de-stress.
Yeah.
So I think she realizes that it's more of a medication for me. So she's
sure.
okay with it now.
It helps. It helps. Like it's helped so many people.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
so it's so crazy to think when we were growing up, it was so
Taboo.
We were just sneaking around,
Yeah.
smoking a little bowl in here and there, and now it's just like out in the open. You know,
Oh yeah, definitely,
crazy.
definitely.
Yeah, it's crazy. But I think we'll wrap this up.
Let's
Anything
do
else
it.
you want to talk about?
No,
we get outta
I
here?
think I think we pretty much covered everything.
Yeah,
Thank you
for
for
sure.
having me.
Absolutely.
This is my welcome to Vegas.
Yeah, for sure. I appreciate you pulling up. You know, it's really great to tap into the Latin community. I'm half Peruvian myself.
Nice.
Yeah, so
I actually I've been to Peru.
oh, for real?
Been to Peru.
I want to go.
Your
I want to go. I want to go. I don't know that side
the
of my
cuisine
family.
is amazing.
That's why I hear. Because it's such it's such a blend like of Asian and different. Yeah. So
yeah.
it's definitely on my to-do list. But yeah, it was great talking to you. It was great.
Yeah,
It was
thank
great
you for
meeting
having
you.
me.
You know, if you ever need anything while you're out here, I'll talk to you after this about that Hardin thing.
Yeah, no
But
doubt.
yeah, anything, you know, my door's always open.
Appreciate it. Looking forward to the next time.
It's the E Squared Podcast.